biometrics, right? Essentially, biometrics is in our space, when we talk about biometrics, we're talking about authentication, right? You know, typical, you know, when we authenticate when we go into work, right? A lot of us still are on passwords, but a lot of us are on multi-factor authentication, of which biometric may be one of those factors. Like, for example, if with a show of hands, how many of you in this audience authenticate at work? And whether it's for physical security to get into a building or to get into a system, use some form of biometric. Yeah, okay. And what are those forms? Just quickly, what?
So I have an app on my phone for the password, and I have to fingerprint unlock the phone to get to the app.
Okay, cool, cool. What fingerprint? Who else had anything here? Yes, sir?
Fingerprint and
Fingerprint, oh, and eye, okay. And
Fingerprint.
Fingerprint. We're going to talk about the fact that, you know, fingerprint is probably the most common, but facial recognition is actually the second most common, and it's actually increasing in popularity. But what about biometrics, right? When we look at the attributes for authentication, you know, we have there's something you are, there's something you know, there's something that you do, right? Am I missing ones? Are, do, or have, the have attribute, right? So biometrics are the something you are, the do attribute. Most of us are familiar with the are attribute. Okay, but we don't realize that there's a form of biometrics they call behavioral biometrics. It's based on what you do. I know there's been sort of a lot of research going on now for gait biometrics. You know, basically to authenticate you by the way you walk. Okay, there's been some interest in that. Why is that? So you have the president of some major company who can't wait for the elevator to get there. You know, their time is too precious. So as he's walking to the elevator, he'll recognize his gait and call the elevator up to him. So that's what kind of the things they're kind of working on now. And basically, these systems are pattern-based, right? You know, they're looking at, if there's a registration process for your biometric, everyone has to go through that process. And then when you're authenticated, actually the system, what it does, it compares the biometric that you surrendered with what they have in file, and really looking for similarities to be able to authenticate you. You know, and biometrics is, and by the way, I see people taking pictures. If you want this presentation, I'm a professor, I teach, I share, I'll send this to you. You know, if you think it's going to be helpful to you, just see me after class, we'll email it right now. We'll open up my email and send it to you, okay? So, I know a lot of your students. But when we look at how biometrics is being used today, just in the regular world, you know, many of us have security clearances, right? Or used to have security clearances. I used to have a security clearance, right? We had to give up our fingerprint for that. Actually, more than one fingerprint. You have to give them all, right? You know, to travel between countries, you may be forced to surrender a biometric, okay? I know here in the United States now, as soon as you enter the country, guess what? They capture your biometric, right? Sylvia? Which biometrics do they capture when you come in?
Facial
and fingerprint. Yeah, just to enter this country. You know, verifying the worker's identity at work. You know, logging into networks. You know, access securities. On the right-hand side is for one of my retirement accounts called Vanguard. You know, essentially they authenticate via voice now, which is I think is pretty cool. To log into your smartphone, right? Essentially, it started with fingerprint, and now, you know, we're doing like Face ID, you know, and I'm not commenting on the accuracy of any of those systems, right? Because as soon as Face ID came out, I think it was within 24 hours, if I recall. But just know that it's becoming more commonly used in our everyday devices, okay? And people are getting used to it as a result. And so, like I said before, you know, fingerprint and facial recognition is about 90% of the biometric market. Does anybody know why fingerprints was the first biometric that was commonly captured and deployed on systems? Such a simple answer. Can anybody guess what it is?
They're unique.
Huh?
They're unique.
All biometrics are unique, but why fingerprints?
Everyone has that in the library.
Yeah, but everybody has a face, but why?
They already have a database.
No.
It's cheap.
It was inexpensive, right? It was the most inexpensive to deploy, right? Anybody remembers, I know some of you are pretty young, but the IBM ThinkPad, if I recall, was the first computer that I saw that actually had fingerprint biometrics. And I thought it was pretty cool, okay? All right, so when you look at biometrics, they can be divided into two types. One of them I mentioned before that has to do with the gait, which is the behavioral biometrics. You know, typically, you know, how you walk, how you sign something, and then we have the physiological, which most of us are familiar with. And this is, you know, like I said, fingerprint biometric, could be facial recognition. You're really not performing any action on that one. And they can be used in two modes: to verify, which is the one that we're very familiar with, to authenticate, and to identify. So the first one is to verify that someone is who they say they are, and another one is just to determine who the user is. And this is a famous example in Las Vegas when they used it for whales, right? Everybody know what a whale is? A Las Vegas whale? Who can tell me what a Las Vegas whale is?
High roller.
A high roller, right? So I'm a guppy in Las Vegas, I'll tell you right now. But these whales, apparently, they've got a lot of money to spend. And so what they do is they employ facial recognition in a very big way in casinos in Las Vegas, not only to determine who, is cheating the system, they have very sophisticated databases, but also if a whale enters the casino, they can identify them, greet them with a free drink. Anybody who's been to Las Vegas understands this process, and maybe get them to spend more money while they're there. Now, of course, the mode selected depends on the application. So, part of biometrics is an enrollment process, right? Those of you who've gone through this, right, there's a period where you have to identify yourself, verify who you are, who you say are some kind of ID or whatever. And then once you've been verified your identity, they're going to actually capture your biometric, and that's the enrollment. I know, I may as well tell you this now. Several years ago, my biometric was being captured at the VA in Washington D.C. And it took a heck of a long time to get them to capture my biometric, my fingerprints. It was like 45 minutes. They even had to bring the supervisor out to try to get my biometric.
Lick his fingers.
What was that?
To lick your fingers.
To lick your fingers. No, what happened, I'll say, some biometrics age better than others, like some people. And what's happened to me over time that my fingerprints are worn down. So, and what if you have to capture a biometric from someone, say, fingerprint, who doesn't have a hand or hands, right? Or can't straighten their hands because of, arthritis or something like that. So there are some challenges, and, usually we have workarounds for that, but, it's far from seamless, this technology. So there's two types of identification systems, positive and negative, okay? In the positive identification system, you want to verify that this biometric is in the database, right? This is commonly what we do with log into networking systems, when you check your password, right? If this is in the, this biometric is in the database, then they're okay, they're allowed access. The classic example, those of you who have to use a biometric to get into a secure building, right? And I think there's several of you have to do that. If it's in the database, well, then the door's going to open for you. If not, it's not going to open. Then this is more interesting, the negative identification systems, right? Essentially to ensure that a person's biometric does not reside in the database. So we're looking for a non-match. And a couple examples of that are people who are trying to cheat public benefits programs. A couple of years ago, I was talking to someone in Fairfax County, which where I'm from in Virginia, and they were very concerned about cheats. And they wanted to implement a biometric system as part of multi-factor authentication to make sure people weren't double dipping, because that was a problem. And so they actually, she was asking me, well, which form do you recommend? And then I gave her all the pros and cons. And can you guess what they picked as the biometric? Fingerprint. Can you guess why? It was the cheapest. Exactly, it was the cheapest. So yeah, protect against things like double dipping. But how about with respect to law enforcement or intelligence uses, right? Essentially, systems exist today where we can scan entire groups of people just like this. And be able to identify people that are on a watch list, get them to come through some kind of choke point or, where it's really fun. And by the way, it's already done in a very big way in other countries, specifically China. And to be able to say, to identify who is a potential criminal or a terrorist, etc. So this is really kind of where we're moving to. And actually, it's the reason why I'm doing this presentation. Because I observed this over time, this little by little encroachment on, using these technologies that we pretty much reserved to authenticate into systems. Now they're being used in a widespread way on our streets. I just told someone recently that, we used to be able to walk the street anonymously. Would you agree? Anonymously, you can go there. But with biometric systems there, the way they are, especially facial biometric systems, law enforcement or anyone else could basically put a camera and scan everyone who's walking down the street, right? And I don't know, maybe that makes me a little uncomfortable. Some people are fine with it. I'm a little uncomfortable with that because I understand that systems like this, especially having been in the intelligence community, that we rely on people to implement these systems. And honestly, I just don't trust people. I mean, I think everything that's managed by a person is open to abuse, and it concerns me. Yeah. All right, so let's talk specifically about facial biometrics and what that is. Very similar to other biometrics, what we're looking at are unique characteristics on your face that will help identify you, okay? And notice I have here, it notes bone structure, nose ridges, iris, forehead sizes, and chin shapes, okay? And one thing about this technology is that it can actually operate on a very low resolution camera, okay, to be effective. It's becoming more popular because if you notice this, facial scans can often take less time than collecting fingerprints. Okay? It's already being done by airports now. Now, I think it's SAS Airlines, instead of giving a ticket to exit, to get on an SS plane in Dallas International Airport where I'm from, they do a face scan. And they're able to load their planes in half the time as a result, which I think, that's pretty amazing if you ask me. So, when you see success stories like that, that just kind of tells me that the technology is going to continue to be deployed, and especially as algorithms get better and better. So, and the thing is, this camera technologies have actually gotten much better over time, so that's just going to help the deployment. And one thing, though, about facial recognition or facial biometrics, and I'm going to read this, is their faces are regarded as quick, reliable way to identify someone from pictures, from video, from afar, and surreptitiously. Okay? That goes back to the point that, you can no longer walk the streets anonymously. Okay? And I have here that odds are that your facial geometry is already being analyzed regularly. Okay? Does your state government have your picture?
Yes. Can I ask you a question? It used to be you weren't allowed to smile doing your driver's license picture, but now they don't seem to care anymore.
Well, in Virginia at least, you can smile as long as you don't show your teeth.
Yeah, I don't really talk about like the defeating technologies that are out there, but because you know how you can defeat facial biometrics? Wear glasses, right? I would wear glasses, or maybe put a scarf over your face. But guess what? With the advances in AI, I'm going to briefly mention it, that with including AI with these technologies, you'll be identified even with the scarf around your face. It's just something how much we're progressing. Because there's a whole bunch of people who are interested in disguising themselves when they're being reported. Think about protesters, right? I know we have lots of protests in DC, because my clients tell me not to come into DC when there are big protests. But they typically will, put masks on themselves. But with technology and ways developing, that will no longer protect them eventually. Okay. Thank you for that question. All right, so there you go. The impact of AI. We actually have companies like NVIDIA. Anybody have an NVIDIA video card, right? Especially all you gamers. Are you a gamer? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I think that's pretty cool. Essentially, they're actually very big in this space, because they got the hardware technology that kind of fits perfectly with AI. So, like I said, we're going to see that this is technology continues to move forward on this year. And how about this one? I mean, I didn't go to Black Hat this year. Did anybody go to Black Hat? No. No, my wife won't let me go to Vegas anymore. It's been fun, right? So, but yeah, I found this in an article that researchers at IBM, and by the way, I know AI and machine learning and all that stuff, I still don't understand what all that stuff does. I know there's a lot of algorithms, it's very complex. But apparently, they were able to create a system that would allow malware to target someone by their facial features. So they would only deploy when that person was logging into was on the system. I think that's, part of me thinks that's pretty cool. I have to be honest with you. I was like, wow, that's cool technology. But then part of me also makes it really concerning, right? Think about, pick the key people at the top levels of your organization. Maybe you've got a lot of IP you've got to protect, and maybe they go after the director of research, right? And they want to install some kind of keystroke logger or remote access trojan, whatever it is on that system that will only deploy when that user authenticates, on his Mac 10, Windows 10 computer with his face. So, I don't know, I just think that's pretty amazing that we're getting to that little detail. And, what kind of challenges does that present to us as cybersecurity professionals, right? I mean, who here has an easy job in cyber? Who has an easy job in cyber? You got any? That was not nice. He raised his hand there. That is not nice. Yeah, I mean, think about it. I mean, and I've said this in other presentations I've done, 100% of the customers I support have been hacked. 100%. Does that make me terrible in cyber? I don't know, maybe it does, I don't know. Essentially, it's just impossible to keep your clients and customers secure. There's just so many ways for that attacker to get around the defenses that we have deployed. So I just see this as just going to be something just worse. It's kind of like, I think of IoT. I remember when I heard about IoT, and I didn't really understand it, stood it. Now I kind of understand it more. And I remember just saying to myself, oh my God, I can't secure what I have now. We're going to add 1 billion devices. It's just going to be so much worse. Okay. All right, so if you have questions about the presentation, please just raise your hand. Let's talk about facial recognition specifically. And this is an automatic process of comparing two faces, which is something very big with respect to law enforcement. Okay. And I'm gonna go through the process that you have to go through to do this, okay? And there's actually 4 steps. And first is the face detection process. When they input a face into a system, some kind of algorithm has to identify that face, okay? And we call that face detection, okay? So they gotta be able to identify the face from the picture. And once they, and when you think about it, the face can be in the corner, right? It could be in the middle, it could be underneath, so you've got to identify the face that you're looking for. And then it's got to be normalized. In other words, it's going to try to rotate that picture to the best of its ability so that it's in a position that most reflects the photos of what it's comparing to. So we call that the normalization process. And then the important part of this biometric, like any other technology, it's going to create some kind of create characteristics that are things you need. Maybe the spacing of your eyes, maybe it picks on that. Maybe it should actually pick more than one thing, and then quantify that numerically. And then once it quantifies that numerically, it's going to find. And by the way, this is not quite like comparing a hash for a password. Right? When you log in, your system hashes your password, and then it compares that hash with the hash on the system. It's really not quite so exact. So really what it's going to do is going to try to identify those with the most similar features, and it's not going to say, just like in regular authentication, yes or no, can get in or cannot get in. It's going to give you, these are the most likely. Okay, so there's an extra step for that, especially from a law enforcement perspective. So we see here that it's inherently probabilistic. Now, in law enforcement systems, what they're going to do is they're not just going to have one candidate. Typically going to give you several candidates to choose from, right? And that's how they use it. Now, the algorithms that do this work, they must be trained, okay? Typically they're trained with very, very large data sets, which is actually a problem today with facial biometrics because the data sets aren't very big. Now, the data sets can be of, millions and millions of people, but they're all white males. You see the problem there? We'll talk about later that some biometric systems are very poor at identifying African Americans, women, and children. Okay, I can see the children piece. Probably not going to find a big data set for that, but it's far from perfect. So you get a lot of more false positives with those groups than you do with white males, and part of it has to do with the data set that these algorithms are being trained on. So, like I said, the makeup of this training set influences the kinds of photos an algorithm is most adept at examining, and that's go back to my thing. It's the database consists mostly of white men. It's going to find it easier to identify white men. Okay, and the thing is, it's pretty typical to figure out these systems if you're trying to do reverse engineering. Because look at it, you look at millions of variables that are optimized during the training process. Okay, so in a way, we get to the point where we can't really understand it well, so we have to leave it to the machinery. So let's talk about some of the current applications that we're seeing in this technology. And like I said, my focus in this presentation is going to be on policing, but it's not the only one. And it's, this is a technology that law enforcement has shown interest in always. And really the primary reason because it can be done in a very big way surreptitiously. I mean, think about it. You can scan, groups of hundreds and hundreds of people and surreptitiously, and you can do your job very easily sitting in your office, okay? And now, I don't know if you know this, but officers in a lot of states are being forced to wear these body cams. I don't know if they have to do that where you are, but I know in some cities where we live in Virginia, they must have their body cam, and now a lot of them have to have it on too, which is great. But there are vendors like Axon that I have in that picture there that are actually integrating AI capabilities into real-time video. So I mean, typically real-time has been very difficult to do biometrics. And you're not quite there yet. Think about it. I can identify you and figure out that we already have a mugshot on you while I'm talking to you as a law enforcement officer. That would be a pretty powerful tool. And so that's actually the direction we're heading in. So when you think about it, when law enforcement is tracking you, their technology is tracking your technology, right? They track your car, typically your license plate. They can track your phone use, right? But now they're able to track you via your physical characteristics. I just think that's a significant difference than being able to track your movements to your phone, which can be done, or your vehicle, etc. So there's a thing I have there. Fingerprints are proven to be stable for more than a decade, and sometimes they're stable for life. Except for me, obviously, I have a problem with that. But when you look at it, did you know that most Americans change smartphones every 2.5 years? Okay, yeah, that sounds right? Not by because I want to, because I have to. And then replace the cars every 5 to 6.5 years. Okay, but think about it. and those are things that change, but your biometric doesn't really change, right? What happens to your facial biometric as you age? I mean, you think the systems will accommodate for that? Yeah, they do. There are modern day systems now that, that as you age, and guess what? If you don't even have to use modern systems like that. How about you just ask Facebook for it, right? Who has the largest private database of images in the world? It's Facebook, right? And guess what? As you put more and more of your photos on there as you age, wow, that makes it, their ability to predict what you're going to look like 10 years based on the last 10 years of photos, becomes that much more accurate. So this is why I advise, and we no longer put our children's pictures on Facebook. My wife does cybersecurity too, and we had this conversation several years ago. And so it's always shocking to me, people who put their children's pictures on Facebook. I don't think you should be doing that, for many, many reasons, and this is one of them. Facebook is not really paying for your photo, right? In fact, we're going to see an example. There was an Israeli company that was actually mining these photos. So we'll talk about that in a couple minutes, which I found kind of shocking. And also, please remember that every state is going to have a picture of you, right, to renew your driver's license. So when, guess what? What if law enforcement, you have no record, but if they're going to, I guess, verify your face in the systems, they're going to use, typically, they're going to use driver's license databases. So if you entered the country, do we have a copy of your picture? You have a passport, state has a picture of that. If you're in the Department of Defense, right, they've taken your pictures. So your pictures exist, your photos exist in more places than you really recognize. And that's why I say they're probably being searched right now as we speak. So these are the 4 ways that law enforcement uses face identification to stop and identify. It's also known as field identification. So someone basically is stopped, they refuse to identify themselves. So essentially the police officer takes their picture, has some software in their police car or on some device, and essentially checks it against mugshots and other databases and determines, who you are on that basis. Okay, so that most of you probably understand that. Arrest and identify. In this one here, you're arrested. Okay, so this is like part 2 of the first one. They're arrested, and the mugshot that they take of you is going to be searched in other databases to see if you have any existing warrants or any other things that we should be looking for. And then investigate and identify. Here, they basically have a suspect. We don't realize someone has actually done a crime, and what we do essentially is, try to take that image of them and then, essentially search to see if we have them, just like in the previous example in other databases where the crime was committed or not. Okay. And then real-time video surveillance. And this is one that I was talking about. That's becoming more and more popular, right? Essentially, police will upload these images, your images, from real-time video, and essentially, search databases for you. So this is the one that really concerns me. We're seeing a lot of growth in, okay, in real time. We're also seeing it. We're seeing in retail. Walmart had a very failed example of this. Anybody know why retail would be interested in facial recognition? What's their reason?
To advertise to you?
Yeah, you're right, and I don't mention that in this presentation. That's where we're working toward advertising. There's a lot of models for that right now, but there's another reason companies like Walmart want to do it. Yeah, cost prevention, looking for shoplifters. Okay, that wasn't really very successful, so they gave that up. How about airports? Essentially controlling who's coming in and leaving the country, and like I mentioned, and actually, does anybody have any experience with this kind of authentication? Do you want to comment on what that was?
It was in Qatar and Dubai.
Can you explain what happened?
They use some very high technology which it recognizes your face, your body. I don't know, just freaked me out.
Okay, that was at the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the airport. Okay, yeah, very cool. I mean, I think that's a really cool example because not only doing your face, doing your body too.
Yeah, the entire body.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, so yeah, that's where we're headed. So, right now we're seeing this technology being deployed at departure gates, and this is the one that I mentioned in, I think it was SAS, the Swedish airline. So for boarding, essentially all you have to do is show your face and you're allowed on.
So you don't need a boarding pass.
Exactly. There's no boarding, this is going to get rid of that boarding pass.
So I see that as you don't need to carry anything in the future. Your face is your credit card, your driver's license.
You just stole my thunder. Did you get my presentation before? That's a bullet that I have in conclusion. Yes, he's absolutely correct. I mean, we are moving to that where basically your face is going to be able to use to identify your phones and everything. Okay. All right, and then yes, sir.
What about for, I don't know if you're going to touch on this, gait analysis?
I'm sorry, say again?
Gait analysis?
No, I'm not going to touch on that.
Okay.
This is only 50 minutes.
Fair enough.
All right, okay, so also you see it deployed in Orlando International Airport. These are just some samples. You're going to see more and more of the, I'm sure, the airports that are implementing these systems that I'm not talking about. But that's just another example. They're being used by Customs and Border Protection. In New York, they've been doing this for a while, essentially biometric systems at tunnels and at bridges. But I just think it's amazing that they can do this, right? That they can capture a facial biometric on a moving vehicle, which I'm always impressed by. And because as cameras get better and better, the ability to do that is just going to expand. Okay. I like this with border protection only because I couldn't do the drone presentation yesterday. There was another presentation I would love to have gone there. But how about implementing these technologies in drones? Okay. Some of you, let me just say here, some of you probably do this, and I'm not talking about from an authentication, identification perspective, but these drones that can take your selfies. Essentially, you send them out, they can find you, take a selfie. Well, I think of facial recognition from that perspective. That's a consumer technology, essentially upgraded a little bit, and guess what? Then you can have a drone going around a protest, and you can have law enforcement, basically identifying people in that manner. So, probably a little low end of the scale of, I guess, technology, but, when I look at that, I say, oh, this is definitely doable. Of course, I mentioned border protection, and this is kind of a big deal in our area because we live near Dulles, only 15 minutes from Dulles, but it's already catching people. And I have 3 examples here of people trying to get into the United States with not their passports. Okay, and there was this, by the way, started in August. The first one was in August, and the system was deployed in August. And August, just with 3 months since then, but they found a Congolese man using a French passport got arrested. A Ghanaian woman using a U.S. passport, and then a Cameroonian woman using a U.S. passport. This was done at the gate as they were checking in. I mean, it was pretty fast. Eventually, they found on the Congolese man, they found his real identification in his shoe. I'm not sure about the other ones, but this is our future. To cut down on a lot of work, right? All right, and how about the intelligence agencies? Anybody here work for an intelligence agency? They're not going to tell me that. But they've been using these systems all the time. Photos that are basically posted on websites that are being sent via email, and running those photos through biometric databases. So there you go, NSA collecting millions of faces from web images. And if we're doing it here in the United States, do you think other countries are doing it? Yeah, absolutely, probably better. This is the one that really catches a lot of people's attention, and the use of the technology in China. And we've termed it Skynet. I'm not quite sure that's what they call it. I'm sure they don't call it Skynet. But remember Skynet from the old T2 movies, right? Terminator movies, or is that, yeah, Skynet. But this is actually a screen grab that, by the way, there are plenty of videos on YouTube on this, just go Google it, of how sophisticated their system is. So in this case here, right, they're looking at the photo of the man on the right, and then they're there you go, they're doing that biometric detection on that picture here, okay? And then basically, I know I don't read Chinese, anybody read Chinese here? But this should be some identifying information on him. That's his actual photo that they took at one point in time. So, I mean, this is what we're looking at. Walking down the street, don't realize that someone's taking your picture and you're being identified. So, really, really bad for the bad guys, right? I mean, which is really what most people say this is designed to get. But, for me, these systems are kind of open to abuse, and you really got to be careful about them. And the fact that there's no legal infrastructure to protect against this is really kind of concerning to me, okay? So what are the challenges and concerns of this technology? Well, basically this technology creates opportunities for tracking that other biometrics do not, okay? And me, probably the most important phrase I have in there that it can be done in secret. Okay, so just something to be concerned about. Here, we feel confident here that we're not being recorded. Well, I'm the only one being recorded, but I know that. Okay, would you change your behavior change if you knew you were being recorded? If you knew you were being recorded, most likely. Yeah, I'm behaving myself because I'm being recorded. My students here know I'm not usually not like this, right? Yeah, you see, I'm not like this. Yes, sir.
Wouldn't these items fall under the GDPR release that was done recently?
I don't see how that's private. Your face is not considered private because it's out in the public. Kind of like your biometric. Like fingerprints are not considered private information, you know that, right? Because they're, you know, you put them on soda cans. So that battle's been fought a long time ago. We don't view facial information as private information unless, right now with existing law, unless there's a federal law that does that. Right now, we only have 2 states with restrictions on the facial biometric capture, and that's Illinois and Texas. And let me just say, I think it was Google is still has a lawsuit against someone in Texas, if I recall. The social media companies don't want restrictions on this technology. Can you figure out why?
They can sell it.
Yeah, they can sell it. Yeah, and we'll talk about. Do you see why facial? I'm looking at your face. I take a picture of you. Is it illegal for me to take a picture of you right now? Can you claim privacy? You can't. Interesting story of, I was in a coffee shop in Vienna, and I had my kids with me. They love going there, and one of my little boys was playing with my Surface Book. And a couple weeks later, someone approached me at the same coffee shop and said, oh, a couple weeks ago, I took this picture of your kid. Would you like to have it? Okay. It was a really nice picture. I even framed it, right, Sylvia? And I was like, well, no, it was nice. And the thing is, it was kind of creepy, right? Some guy taking pictures of your kids, right? But you know what? I mean, if you don't want to get your picture taken, I guess don't go outside, right? I mean, so you see that, we don't consider that private. Now, it's not like I'm going into your home to take your picture, right? I'm taking your picture in a public place. When a lot of this stuff is done, it's in a public place. Yeah, but as far as I don't see how that would fall into private yet. If the government makes it private, absolutely, but I'm not seeing that happening anytime soon. Because think about it, and people could argue that your fingerprint is private too. And that's been, I mean, we've been taking fingerprints for law enforcement and other purposes for more than 100 years, right? That survived Supreme Court challenges on privacy. Yeah. So notice this is a legal landscape of concern. Neither federal nor privacy laws nor the nation's surveillance laws provide specific protections. They go for facial images. Like I said, I don't have the example there of Illinois and Texas. And here's the comment on social media companies that giants like Facebook and Google depend on facial recognition software to run some popular products. Usually it has probably something to do to sell something to us, right? So that they're actually resisting any kind of legal, any additional legal stuff around it. And then there's some challenges with respect to accuracy. You know, I mentioned earlier about how these algorithms need to be able to detect faces, and this is what kind of do. They need to be able to look at a face and determine that it's upside down, right? As part of facial detection, they need to put it in the proper place to do that. But you'll notice these are white guys, right? But you know, there was a study done by the FBI, and they found that, you know, and this exists today. This is a 2012 study that had trouble identifying African Americans, women, and young children. Okay, once again, that has to do. It's not the technology; it's the data set. When you train these algorithms, you know, if you only train them against, you know, greyhound dogs, I mean, it's only going to identify greyhound dogs. Well, does that make sense?
Hot dog.
Right. Oh, that too. And then even here, this is a 2018 article that I saw. The sources of the Washington Post. Sorry, it came from Washington Post, but the sources of the FBI. And you know, basically saying that the facial recognition technology is still not a perfect technology. It is lagging behind. But guess what? Like any technology, what happens over time, they improve, right? I mean, I've never seen a technology get worse. Does anybody? Well, maybe Windows. Well, the Windows. Let's not mention that. This is being recorded. All right. And then, like I say, going back to the privacy concerns, there's lots of reports on this. This is a Georgetown report called The Perpetual Lineup, which actually got a lot of information for this presentation for. So I have a link to it at the end of the presentation. But yeah, they basically attack all the issues with respect to privacy for this technology. And one of their main themes was essentially there's no legislation, there's nothing preventing the capture of these images and what you do with these images. Okay? Okay, I love this one, okay? But if you read the right here, and it says, look, imagine if a video of you had been uploaded by a former partner, for example, without your permission, and as a result of the application of AI to a site's content library, it not only grouped together all videos involving you, but included your name, Facebook or Twitter profile, and so on. This was written in relation to people who post porn. Right? You know what that is, right? Porn? I don't know, like, come and see me after class, I'll let you know. But yeah, you know how, there's a lot of people who post porn of themselves, by themselves, whatever, with their wife. But right now, it's anonymous, right? But imagine if, as these technologies grow, that we can identify you. I mean, I don't know, I find that humorous somehow, that you find maybe like your, kindergarten teacher is posting porn on the internet. So, but this is where this is advancing, honestly. This is where we're going. And, AI is supposed to solve all our problems, cure cancer, etc. And this is just an example of like where AI is going to be implemented. So yeah, the privacy concerns is that this technology is going to be used to track people. And not only track people, to be able to spy on them. This is what I mentioned before. Look at this. In 2018, in May, it was discovered that over the last 5 years, a secretive surveillance company founded by a former Israeli intelligence officer had been quietly building a massive facial recognition database consisting of faces acquired from Facebook, YouTube, and countless other websites, greatly alarming privacy advocates. And you know what? There's nothing restricting him from doing this, right? Cyber Analytica just shows you, right? If you follow Cyber Analytica, you can go on Facebook and get anything you want. It doesn't matter. So yeah, how is he using it? We don't know. How does he intend to use it? Okay. So my conclusions on this technology is, still my thunder there, that people's faces will eventually serve as their identification, as opposed to driver's license. You're not going to have to, present a driver's license anymore, a passport in some cases. Basically, you just prevent your face, and that's going to be enough. These algorithms, like any other technology, they're going to continue to improve. So guess what? It's just going to be better and better, the technology over time. And I said, being anonymous in public might be a thing of the past. Okay? And then I want to talk about a couple things. What about these things? The ability to take fake photos. How will that mess up biometric databases? Okay, these are actually photos of people who are not real. Okay, they were all created using NVIDIA hardware. But my favorite is this one, fake videos. Right? That's kind of a big thing in the news lately. What if you create a fake video wanting to frame someone for some act, and guess what? It's a fake video. So, I'm sure there's going to be technology we're going to be able to figure this out, of course, but, I think until then, I think we need to be aware that this is going to be an issue. Concept of these fakes that really, really look realistic. Has anybody seen a fake video? Were you fooled?
Yeah,
You saw that one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, if you don't know about it, go, research it, look into it some more. So, these are some of the references I used for this presentation, highly recommend if you're interested in this topic to go read them. Very privacy focused though. And, any questions? I answered everything.
What's porn?
What was that? Porn?
What's porn?
Oh, I said after class, not during the taping.
Did I catch that India had an issue where they were trying to force everybody into facial and they got hacked?
They are forcing everyone, yeah, because it's for the distribution of benefits. Yes, and that is true. Yeah. We've been in cyber, right? The attackers go where the money is, where the data is. So, but I've also learned that the red team always wins. Yeah. Right? The red team always wins. All right. So if you want a copy of this presentation, I'm a teacher, so I love to share whatever I got. I'll be more than happy to send it to you. Just come up after the presentation, and I'll put your name in my email app, and then we'll send it to you. Okay. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.